Look at us up on Doc Real TV. Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of Doc Real TV. This is Doc, as you already know. This is going to be a tutorial on Adobe Audition. And actually, the other day, I'll just refer to it, I wrote a statement that said something about the number 0 and how it is the start of all creativity. And so before I start this lesson, the first thing I want to teach you guys is we start at 0 when it comes to all sound editing. So Adobe Audition is a program that is in the Adobe CS 5.5 or Adobe CS 6 package. And what it is the new sound editing program that replaced Sound Booth. Now, many people don't use the sound editing programs that come within those packages. Like if you're in the Master Suite package, you know, a lot of people are like, well, Sound Booth is not something that I really want to use. I'd rather use Pro Tools. I understand that, and you know, hey, Pro Tools is a more intensive program. It has many more tools and is capable of many more things. For those who are new users and would like to find something that's easier than Pro Tools, or if you already have the Master Suite package and you don't want to go out and buy another package like the Pro Tool package, I would say that this tool, Adobe Audition, is probably one of the best tools they've ever come up with when it comes to these multi-packages. So let's get started. The first thing I want you to do is go ahead and open Adobe Audition. I keep my toolbar on the left-hand side, so what that does is it helps it stay out of the way, sometimes, of the programs that I'm using. What I should do, and what I usually do when I'm editing something, is I go to the toolbar and I reset it so that it doesn't move. So the dock and set it so that the magnification is off, so that it doesn't get in the way when I'm futzing over here. So we'll keep going here. Now, when you open the program, you start at, like I said, 0. And that's important because you need to have at least a file or an idea of something that you would like to record. You know, in this case, I did not set up the recording, so give me about 1 second and I'll set up the recording real quick. The recording's setting itself up, but while it's setting itself up, I'm going to show you one of the two ways. That way this tutorial is going to be a little bit extended. It's probably going to break into 2 or 3 tutorials, okay? So here we go. You can either import a file, like some of us have been known to do, and if you do that, you can go to Import File, which is actually Command I. I like to teach people the key commands, and as you see, they're right there for you. So if you go to File, Import, if you forget, you can just go to the File menu, and you can find most of these key commands. So let's just go ahead and go Command I. And now we're going to start with something. I want to start with maybe a wave that I've done before. Actually, a wave that I did today. It is a push button drop, PBR. What did I call it? PBR. I just made it too. Unfortunately, this Mac doesn't have the newer setting. This is still in Snow Leopard, so I use this as my sound Mac. PBR, DR, here we go. DR drop 1 MP3. Now, I did this actual drop in Adobe Audition right here, so as you see, nice little drop there. And this is for Push Button Republic. That is my voice, amplified and with several different effects on it. One of the keys that you want to remember, 2 key commands that that I would like you to remember, is the space bar that allows you to play and stop any of the tracks that you have. It allows you to play and stop the cue controller. I don't even know what that's actually called. I've called it several things. So, you know, it's the playhead cue or the playhead marker or whatever people would like to call it. And also, since many people forget that there is a way to automatically get back to the beginning without having to drag and hear it. hear the sounds like this. They call that scrubbing. So without having to scrub the actual sound, you can hit the home key and it takes you back to the beginning. So with that being said, there are a couple of other key commands I'd like to show you. And the first one is how to get out of the 0 mode, and that is by pressing the number 9. If you press the number 9, it opens up a multi-track session. So when I say get out of the 0 mode, to get out of the 0, which is waveform, and let me show you something before I even get there. 2 key commands, the first 2 key commands I should have actually showed you is the view waveform editor, which is 0, getting back to 0, and the open a multi-track or view multi-track editor, which is 9. 2 major numbers that if you were to read this book, you'll start to understand correlate with a lot of things in our universe, including music. But, and this book is called The Music Lesson by Victor Wooten. If you haven't heard of it, I suggest you go out and get it. It is also on audio CD by Audible. So you can get it from Amazon Audible. And that's pretty much it so far for this lesson. I believe I shouldn't take you too much further because I believe my timer is going to go off in a couple of minutes. But, you know, I can give you a couple of other things. But we're going to jump into the opening a multi-track session so you know how to do it. So we'll go ahead and hit 9. And you can go ahead and name the multi-track session first. I'm going to name this Audition Tutorial DR1. And what it will do, you have to hit enter twice, is open up a multi-track session. And the first thing I usually do with a multi-track session is I scroll my mouse down over these tracks. As you see, it automatically compresses the tracks. Why do I do that? Because I want to delete a few tracks. So I'm going to click on the tracks that I want to delete, 4, 5, and 6, and I'm going to hit Alt, Command, Delete. Once, twice, 3 times. Now, anytime I say Command, for those of you guys using PC, you know that that is Control. Your ultimate for Command is Control. For us, Command is Apple. Apple, or it has a little squiggly command button. The Alt button has this squiggly line thing. For those who don't know, it's kind of interesting. And the Shift button, of course, looks like an up arrow. So anytime you see those symbols, hear those symbols, that should help you in using these tools here. And for the sake of Control is usually listed as CTL or CTRL, something like that. Anyway. Now, I deleted these tracks because if you notice, if I use the scroll button again, and I scroll down and I see these are all stereo tracks. They have left and right channels. So I want to add some mono tracks because this is a mono, or was originally a mono recording. Is it? No, it's a stereo recording. But what I usually like to do is I like to add mono tracks because I might want to record some mono in. So in this case, I don't have to. I can go ahead and pull this track and put it on track 1. And it says the sample rate is a little bit different, but it'll convert it for you. So also, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to add mono tracks. Now, adding a stereo track is easy. It is Alt, as you see that squiggly symbol I was talking about right here, Alt and A. You can add a stereo track, but adding a mono track, you always have to go up to here to multi-track, track, and click Add a mono track. So I'm going to add about 3 of these. So now that I've added all 3 of these tracks, I'm ready to go to actually record some extra sounds. So if I wanted to record some extra sounds behind it, the first thing I would do is make sure I'm receiving sounds. And as you hear, that is my timer saying it is time up for this video. We'll come right back and we'll start out the next lesson with recording sounds and how to properly to route your buses into the proper inputs for whatever device you are using. That's a Doc Real Audition tutorial, and this is Doc Real signing off on Doc Real TV. Push button, baby! Doc Real TV!